Welcome to this next episode of Chapel at Home. I am Reverend Ann.
I'm Reverend Bill, and it is Pentecost Sunday. We are so glad that you've joined us.
We celebrate the birthday of the church and the sending of God's Spirit into the world. So we hope that you will be inspired and enjoy this devotional time.
May the Spirit of God be with you.
Over the next couple of minutes, we invite you to participate in the passing of the peace. In fact, we invite you to send a couple of texts, 2 emails, or write an extra 2 cards this week. On the first one, offer the peace of Christ or a similar greeting to a member of your church. On the second one, offer God's peace or the peace of God be with you to someone who's not a member of your church, a friend or neighbor, a relative, someone you think needs some peace. Tell them this was the way we are safely passing the peace in worship today. We'll let this music play while you send those communications, or you can just take a moment to reflect on the music. A reading for Pentecost, live from the front porch. When the day of Pentecost had come, they were all together in one place. And suddenly from heaven there came a sound like the rush of a violent wind, and it filled the entire house where they were sitting. Divided tongues as of fire appeared among them, and a tongue rested on each of them. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit, and began to speak in other languages as the Spirit gave them ability. Now there were devout Jews from every nation under heaven living in Jerusalem. And at this sound the crowd gathered and was bewildered, because each one heard them speaking in the native language of each. Amazed and astonished they asked, "Are not all these who are speaking Galileans? And how is it that we hear each of us in our own native language? Parthians, Medes, Elamites, and residents of Mesopotamia, Judea and Cappadocia, Pontus and Asia, Phrygia and Pamphylia, Egypt and parts of Libya belonging to Cyrene, and visitors from Rome, both Jews and proselytes, Cretans and Arabs. In their own language we hear them speaking about God's deeds of power." All were amazed and perplexed, saying to one another, "What does this mean?" But others sneered and said, "They are filled with new wine." But Peter, standing with the 11, raised his voice and addressed them. "Men of Judea, and all who live in Jerusalem, let this be known to you, and listen to what I say. Indeed, these are not drunk as you suppose, for it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. No, this is what was spoken through the prophet Joel. In the last days it will be, God declares, that I will pour out my Spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Even upon my slaves, both men and women, in those days, I will pour out my Spirit, and they shall prophesy. And I will show portents in the heaven above, and signs on the earth below, blood and fire and smoky mist. The sun shall be turned to darkness, and the moon to blood, before the coming of the Lord's great and glorious day. Then everyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved.
We thought we knew the plan. We thought we knew how to do church, and then everything changed. But we are the church. We are the people of hope. We trust God and know that change is good, that death leads to resurrection, that God makes all things new. As God told Jeremiah, "Surely I know the plans I have for you, plans for your welfare and not for harm, plans to give you a future filled with hope." And so we dream of a church that's bold, courageous, impactful, anti-racist. No fear, no limits. We see church the new way, reaching more people, preaching good news, fighting brave battles, caring for creation, being the hands and feet of God, and welcoming all to the table. This is your church. This is church the new way. Be the new church. Be bold, be courageous, be limitless, be generous. Be the new church.